Hey, Ag Teacher Christmas here, coming at you with another video. Well, I did some thinking the other day, and I was like, I love my Hippo River, but it's just missing something. I mean, I've got this large stretch of yard behind me, and this big, long, gentle slope, and I wanted to find a way to fill it with lights where it wasn't just like a grid of white to replicate snow. I wanted it to tie into the Hippo River. So what I've decided to do is add another feature, and one that's got a little bit more movement to it, to our Hippo River. So what we're going to do is, I'm thinking back to all those documentaries of what I've seen in the homelands of the hippo. How do they generally portray them? And I was thinking like Jungle Book and Disney and how all that is. And there always seems to be a waterfall. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a waterfall in our display that's actually going to start right here. So I've got uh, this large piece of PVC pipe. It's supported by two of my electric fence posts, and we're going to use some of our blue and our white Christmas lights to replicate a moving waterfall. Now, one of the things that's kind of key to that is this set of icicle lights here. Yes, even Christmas lighters get their Christmas lights tangled, but the best thing about that is Christmas lighters have done this so much, they get really good at untangling them. So what's special about this icicle Christmas light string is it twinkles. So it has blue and white lights that are very intense, but they also twinkle. And I think that's going to be a perfect addition to form the top of our waterfall. So you get a little bit of that movement. And then we can use our controllers to turn on and off and fade up and down some of the other strings to make it look like the water is moving and falling down. So I think we're going to start working with that. And I figured I'd bring you along as we make a waterfall, a lighted waterfall for our Hippo River. Okay, so this is where I make the first correction to the video. This isn't the string of icicle lights I thought it was. They're not a twinkling. Those lights aren't twinkling. Yeah. Comment below if you know where that's from. Those little lights aren't a twinkling. I guess these are static, but don't worry, we got Christmas light controllers. We can fix that. So we're going to go ahead and start putting this on here. As far as things you need lots of Christmas light strings. Don't necessarily need to be icicle lights. They help to add a little effect. We're going to need some big 6-inch. We're going to need some big 6-inch zip ties and some small 4-inch zip ties. And lots of boxes of blue and white lights, and that'll help sell our waterfall. Okay, let's start putting that together. One of the things that's always helpful is when you're putting up a display element for the first time, always do it while the lights are under power. I know they say to, not handle the strings while they're under power. But if they're under power, it helps you see if you accidentally mess something up and make them go out or form some sort of error or short. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and put these here. These icicle lights have not been stretched out. They've been in storage for a very long time. It's the only set I have. I don't remember where I picked them up. I think I got them on clearance once. I really, really liked them, and then they never came back in stock. So I have to use them for individual elements rather than something that's, something that's more common in the display. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this all the way across. And then we're going to go back and forth. So we're going to make a large density of lights up top. And the icicle lights will kind of help form that as a randomized object. So they're different lengths. We can make them different spots. I think we're going to do that. So I don't want them all the same together. Never have enough zip ties. We're probably actually going to run out of zip ties on this job. Get this all the way across. I think what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to put our last zip tie over here. Yeah, that's going to be just about right. We'll put put one in the middle and we'll call it good. It's okay if it sags a little. Bring this back up to the top. Okay, so that is the head of the waterfall, right up there near the top. As these sit in the sun, if it can warm up enough and it's not super cold, they will actually start to stretch back out. Okay, there we go. Or if I could, bring a hairdryer out here, I can get them to hang straight. But if they hung straight, they wouldn't necessarily have the movement I'm looking for the waterfall. So that's going to be our headwater. So I guess what we need to do now is we need to put in some lights that we can control and make them blink, since this isn't the blinking string I thought it was. But let's go ahead and grab a few more. Let's move this plug off to the side. It's back there out of the way. We're going to use some of our white wire blue strings. We're going to use these a little bit different in that we're not going to necessarily use the whole string all the way down. We're going to make them kind of into segments or sections. There'll be different channels of blue. When I mean a channel, I mean an individual string of lights that I can turn on or off at any time. So I'm going to put one there. We'll bring them down front. I'll get you a wider view so you can see this. I think we'll make the blues. We'll do 4 channels of blue. Top. Not going to worry about straightening them out yet. I'm just dangling the plugs over the backside because I'm going to use my Christmas light controllers to connect to them. So there's going to be a whole mass of wires that we'll use. Okay, there's that. We've got our 4 channels of blue. Don't worry, we're going to make it look prettier. We're going to come in and we're going to add, here's my white. My white. Test my white strings. Yep. I'm going to add channels of white right in next to them. These white strings have been used before, so they're stretched out. I tested that one. If not, I'll find it later. You're going to put one more channel of white there. Alright, we may have to add some more blue lights in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down, I'm going to make sure that these dangle all the way down to the bottom, or at least close enough. And then we're going to kind of turn them into single strings. So we're going to loop them and make them go back up. Almost enough. I think we do that, we kind of vary them. It will look pretty cool. Yeah. Down here, form a loop, put one zip tie at the bottom. That way we can actually stake it to the ground. So if we stake it to the ground, we know that when the wind comes, it won't tangle them. So there's a stake, goes all the way to the ground. We can come back up with our lights. Sally, hush. Sally. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and zip tie that together. I think we're going to do that with all of these, and we'll do some shorter ones. In a moment. Yeah, I think that's probably the best option. Kind of experimenting as we go. Okay. Our white ones, I think we're going to go straight down, and then we're going to kind of loop some of them up, and then some of them we're going to make like a little bubble that goes down below. I'm not going to do these the same height. I want them to have a little bit of depth. Okay. This gets back up. So we go back up to here. And this will be a short one again. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some stakes down here in the ground, and that's going to catch the lights. They're down here, and so they're coming down, and we're starting to form a little bit of the bubble. And then we're going to just run back and forth to some of the stakes in the back, but we're not going to go necessarily all to the same stake. We're going to kind of zigzag. That way it's not just vertical lines that are changing, it's patterns. Okay, so we're going to do all of these, and then we'll start zigzagging them back and forth. And they don't all have to come to the same spot. You know, they can be shorter, like this one, or they can be longer, and we'll put the next one out a little bit further. So we're going to mix it up. So this is going to get some 3D dimension. And then I'm going to put a series of stakes around here, and we're just going to kind of zigzag the lights back and forth. And then we'll come in and we'll do that with some blue lights too. And we can put them all on and off at different times and fade them or flash them or whatnot to give that appearance or that effect of like moving or waving water. So this is going to be like the froth or the foam at the bottom of a waterfall. Okay. So this is just going to be random. Should be a pretty cool effect when we're done. You know, we could even have some of them come up here, the back of the posts, just like that. We're just going to zigzag them all around. Remind me when I have to take this down in January that weaving the lights in and around and back and forth and through was a good idea. Yeah, it's going to be a pain to disassemble. That's okay. It'll be pretty while it's lighted. I think I'm going to put this one like through the air. Use some zip ties and put this one through the air. Yeah, this decoration is going to take a while to take down. That's okay though. It will look spectacular at night. Okay, so there's our spider web of strings. I'm going to start putting some other stakes here so that my Hippo River, the blue, can actually come out. I think we're going to just bring it over and just have it suddenly stop, as if like a hill got in the way. Just kind of a way to explain the pathway that's going to happen. And then on the outside, we've got some green lights. We're going to border this with some green LED lights. So they'll be off to the edges, and they'll come down to where the actual hippos are. So all this up in here is going to be just a border of green LEDs. zigzag here. Actually, this should probably come all the way over here to where the blue is. Blue and green meet each other. Okay, that'll be that one. Let's throw some blue ones in there, and then we'll wrap up this video. There'll be green along on this other side over here too. Well, there you go. I think you get an idea of what this is going to look like and kind of how it goes together. Just a whole bunch of different light strings put together, and we will tie them together with extension cords and then use a light controller to alternate those lights to make this waterfall look like it is falling water. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this now, because the rest of it's just kind of fine details that you don't need to see, and you can see it when it's all lighted up. And maybe we'll shoot a video with it tonight if I can get enough of those cords all hooked together. It won't work or look as well. Maybe we'll wait, because it won't look as good now if I just hook it up as it will when it's actually running in a sequence. So we'll shoot a video later on that. But yeah, this is going to be a part of the Hippo River. It's our Hippo waterfall. So anyway, as always, Merry Christmas. Keep those little lights a twinkling. Ag Teacher Christmas out.